Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am the Grand Cat and today we are going to be looking at the One Piece card game Premium Card Collection Best Selection Volume 1, of course made by Shiro Oda himself in Toei Animation. Let's take a look at the packaging that it comes in. Not much of interest there, you have a little barcode, but other than that, just a plain old cardboard box. But the stuff that is inside is what makes it worthwhile. So we are going to very carefully cut this open. I'm hoping that there's something in here at the top that's just not going to leave a giant scissor mark across the front of it. I have got myself 5 of these. 4 of them will be used in actual gameplay for my decks, and the other ones will be kept in storage just in case these things are worth a tremendous amount of money at some point in the future, being that this is the first one. Now, it's given me a little bit of bother here, but there we go. I've got it all opened up. And let's go ahead and take a look. Just tiny a little bit there. Okay, no, there is something there. So this is good because you can see there the line has been cut across the front of it, but it's been all nice and protected, and there we go. So these parts actually open up, we don't actually lead into anything, and it's just like a book. That's exactly what it looks like. So let's get rid of the packaging here. So this is what we're going to expect to see inside of this. There you can see, caution to avoid risk of suffocation, please keep plastic bag out of the reach of infants and young children. Well, okay, I shall be sure to do that, as well as keeping all of these expensive little foil alternate art cards out of their reach as well. So there it is, and just like in Japan, it opens the opposite direction. So the front of it is what in English would be the back cover, and the back of it is what in English would be the front cover. But of course in Japan, everything is reversed when it comes to books. And there we have, there is all of the alternate arts. So as I said, we're going to open this up. So this one will not be kept sealed. And these cards will indeed be used in actual gameplay. They are not being kept as a beautiful little collection that they are. It is very, very cool to see these cards. This is my first time seeing these in person. I have seen them online, but there we go. Let's take them out one at a time, shall we? Oh, this is the thing I hate. They are inside of these little plastic sleeves here, and they are kind of stuck on by something at the back, and it really kind of ruins it, as you can see there, to get them off. But this comes with a little plastic sealed sellotape part there, and then we can open up the card, and there we have our alternate art Curly Dadan, which is extremely foil, as you can see. Curly Dadan, of course, the one that sort of raised Sabo, Ace, and Luffy, the mountain bandits that they were thrown to by Garp, and there she is. She was originally a uncommon in One Piece Set 2. Because she was uncommon meant that she didn't come in foil, because only rares and higher are foil. So this is the first time that you can actually get her in proper foil. It's this very cool all art where she is swinging her axe as well. Now let's move on to the next one that can just sit over there. We are just going to rip all of these off, unfortunately. If there is an easier method to getting these cards out of here, I would like to know it, because I currently am not aware of them. The methods, I mean. And this one here is Film Nami, which of course was a SR from One Piece Set 2, but has become very, very popular in green decks, particularly the film decks like Uta. But regular green decks is a really good engine to have. Of course, Nami is the one film card that was available at the time. Of course, new ones have came out in Extra Booster 1. But this is the only card that didn't come in that Uta deck, and it is the SR from One Piece Set 2, which is very, very cool because on play and on attack you can rest 1 to look at the top 3 cards of your deck and add 1 film from amongst them to your hand, which if you're playing a pure film deck will be almost all of them. So very, very cool. Another alt art. We of course got the SR and we had the alt art because she was an SR in set 2. But set 2, of course, not particularly easy to get hold of nowadays. So getting another version of it is very, very cool. Next up, something that, well, it had a lot of play in set 1, but I haven't really seen it since. It is to go along with your, see what I mean, this is just getting destroyed unfortunately. To go along with your alt art winner Centamarus, you have indeed an alt art Pacifista that can be summoned off of those Centamarus. Now, of course, Pacifista doesn't have any effect, it is just a big old 4-drop 6k vanilla, but this is a really, really cool, very foil, very shiny looking card that you can see there. I like how you can see the difference in the coloration in between the eyes. One eye is glowing, you know, like it's trying to do the laser beam light that Kizaru does, or Borsellino. And of course, we know that Vegapunk fashioned the lasers off of Kizaru's abilities. Next up, we have the Frankie Radical Beam, which is actually the third artwork, because there was a special second artwork that came with the demo decks, where it says O Squid at the top, and there it is, one of the very, very powerful red cards, particularly in the old Whitebeard decks. It was limited to one for a good little while there, but as came off the ban list, is now once again welcome at 4. So it is very, very cool to have. Paradise Waterfall, I'm not sure I use this in many, many decks. It is something I've seen teched in quite a bit, but I don't really see it mained an awful lot. Perhaps we will, maybe with the new Odin deck or such. It is, of course, a Land of Wano and Kozuki Odin card, but there is 1-drop +2 and then stand one of your characters, set one of your characters as active. It is, of course, green. Next up is Love Love Mellow, which again was a very, very powerful card in a few different decks near the beginning of the game, but doesn't see so much play nowadays because it does cost 2 Dawn, and generally 2 Dawn is a lot of Dawn, but it does give plus 4,000, and then if you have 3 or less cards in your hand, you draw 1. And of course, very, very cool image of Bo Hancock doing the Love Love Mellow. And that is us halfway through. Next up is Buena Vista, who has seen a lot of play in the Doflamingo deck. That is where you play the film deck, but you played it with Doflamingo Leader, which is green and purple, which not only allows you to restand your Dawn, but allows you to have access to both green and purple film cards, like Buena Vista here, who is on play. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal 1 film from among them other than itself, add it to your hand, and then place the rest in the bottom deck in any order, and he is a 2k counter, which is probably the most important part. Of course, very, very shiny, very, very foil, and very, very cool indeed. Next up is Tusuru, who has been a mainstay in most of the black or navy decks for a little while. She is seeing less play nowadays, but she's still played in a few different decks. But there she is. There is big old Tusuru. It's a 2k counter, 1-drop. This one is very strange because I have never actually played Charlotte Amande in any deck. I understand that she's a 2k counter and she's Big Mum and she's searchable off of things like Sparrow or the 3-eyed one whose name I've forgotten. Oh my goodness, that's terrible of me. But generally I prefer playing things like Capone Beggy or such. Something that has like a better trigger effect. But I've seen a lot of people play her, so it is nice to have the alternate art, particularly for those players. Now this is an old favourite of mine, a good old Burst Breath. It is something that I was using since the very start, since the old super pre-release starter deck events. This one, of course, a brand new artwork, looks very, very shiny and very, very foil. Still seen in a few different decks, still played in, of course, Purple Yellow Crocodile, which makes a huge advantage off of this. It's got a really, really cool, I'm hoping that shows up on camera. that it has a kind of wave effect coming off of it. I like to show just the sheer force and power of the burst breath. Hopefully that is coming through there, but it's really, really cool, like a kind of circular wavy motion. But there it is big old blast breath itself. Very, very nice, very, very strong little card. Has been since the beginning. Next up, contains one of my favourite admirals. This is, of course, big old Kuzan himself, Akoji, the blue peacock. I'm pretty sure that's what Akoji stands for. It's not Blue Phoenix, but there it is. Of course, Ice Age plays a very, very prominent role in the brand new Gecko Moira deck because it really needs things to lower opponent's cost, and Ice Age does that in spades. So this is very, very cool. I also still play 2 of it in Sakazuki for as long as Sakazuki is still legal before it is banned. And the last one is Thunderbolt, which, interestingly enough, I didn't see Thunderbolt played an awful lot. I've seen it teched quite a bit. It has a really, really good trigger, but I don't really like the effect of it. But recently, I have seen Thunderbolt played at 3 and 4 ofs in quite a lot of the yellow deck. So the main effect is trash. You may trash 1 card from the top of your life, KO one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less, and then trigger KO one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. So of course this is one of the few ways to actually get rid of the opponent's cards on field if you are playing yellow. It's a really, really nice artwork of Big Mom there. The look of Big Mom's face here reminds me of, do you remember in Fishman Island when they're talking about the 4 emperors and you see the shadowed outline of Big Mom and Kaido who hadn't been revealed yet? That face there reminds me of that Big Mom. Just on Nabata, you know, the featureless face, the big smiles and everything. So there we are, and there, of course, on the back of it, you get to see what all 12 of the cards look like. And there we go. That is your entire little playset. I just realised that I knocked the playmat just off sync, but there we go. So I'm going to be using these in a few different decks, so you can see those on this channel when we play those little games of Vanguard. So that's something to look forward to. But that is going to be it for this little video, folks. I really hope that you all enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please give me a like, share and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure you click that notification icon so you can see when more of these glorious little videos go out. And we shall see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.